It's back to Italy for the third round of the FIM Supermoto World Championship as S1GP arrives on the island of Sardinia. Tremazza plays host to the event, held on a flowing 1.4-kilometre layout that you can see on your screen. Just under 270 metres of this layout are off-road. The idyllic island west of mainland Italy is a stunning historic part of the world and is a natural hotbed for tourism. It also has significant motorsport pedigree as a long-time host of the World Rally Championship. It's an island of 1.6 million people with motorsport running through their veins. It is of course just south of the French island of Corsica, another locale with motorsport history. As well as a vibrant local cultural scene, you can spend weeks discovering the countless glorious views you can find on the coast and inland. Let's take a look at the track itself with Axel Marie-Louchet and Elias Saint-Martin.
Here we are on my preferred part of Sardinia track. Very technical part like Supercross. It's important in this part to take a good line. It's not important to push too much for lost the line because it's dangerous for make a crash.
Now let's see how the Joker lane is made. So we have two trajectory possibilities. We have the outside, which allows us to have the maximum speed to face the whoop stretch, while we have the inside, which allows us to differentiate ourselves if an opponent takes the outside line. The plan with the whoops is to try to land the bike to maintain as much speed as possible so as to not lose pace in the last part and then have no problems coming off the Joker lane.
Plus de vitesse que possible pour après pouvoir bien réussir l'enchaînement et continuer à garder de la vitesse parce que là c'est la Joker lane et il faut perdre le moins de temps ici, quoi.
From a leisurely stroll to a shotgun ride, let's take a rather more fast look at the lap. Our two riders get off the line and they're immediately greeted by a fairly narrow little chicane here. It's going to be difficult to find space on the first lap. A double apex left follows into a hairpin left. Surely this braking zone here will be a favoured overtaking opportunity for the field come race day. Of course, if they don't get it right the first time, they're in luck because there's another opportunity at a hairpin that follows that. Back up to a little more speed as the circuit flows on. And then coming after this quick left-hander, they go onto the dirt, slowing down on the dirt before the first little hump, and then into the sky section proper. They do have to be careful slowing down onto the dirt for certain. Multiple lines available to the riders here, although I suspect most of them will take the outside line. Again, well up in the air. And onto the tarmac once more, picking up basically where you left off. Another good overtaking opportunity potentially here at this long sweeping right-hander. And then, as you know it, we're just a few corners from home. It's a short layout here in Tremazza. More left-hand bends, a quick flick to the right, and that's your lap here in Sardinia. I'm leading the Rookies Championship. The opponents are, of course, the greatest threat. Behind me are Yuri Catherine and Steve Bonnell, who are going strong, and my goal is to stay first and win this championship.
In my first year in the S1GP class, the feeling with the bike is very nice and the team makes really, really good work. The target for this season is for sure the World Championship. Now here in Sardinia, it's the goal is set and we do our best.
So this year I'm starting in the S1GP rookie class and it's a really, really strong rider class. We have a lot of power, we have a good setup, good suspension, and also the geometry of the bike is really good and it's working really well.
For 3 years, I have been in the Gaza racing team, riding a Honda that I know well and with which I have a good feeling. This year in the rookies, there is an excellent standard of competition, which makes the battle on the track very tight. My goal is to win the rookies and reach riders in the front, like Schmidt, Charret and Hurlbacher. My goal this year is to win the Rookies Championship. With this bike, the SM2022, I feel very good, and the TC for our team is cool. It's a good team with a good environment where we are all French. I ride for the SMX TM factory team, and I have a great feeling with the new TM, which has improved a lot this year. I'll try to do my best to be on the podium of the Rookies Championship come the end of the season. So then the grid for race 1. Thomas Charret on pole, Lucas Hurlbacher and Mark Rayner-Schmidt with him on the front row. Nicolas Cousin, Elias Samartin and Steve Bonnell on row 2. Then it's Yuri Catherine, Milan Sitniansky and Roman Kivers. Row 4 of the grid, Yannick Hintz, Mikhail Brian Amadeo and Tim Zalay. Riders off the line then. It's a very short run down to the first corner, and it's one that Tom Charret has absolutely aced. Schmidt follows him through into second, and many innocent cones are falling victim to the riders already at that first chicane. Schmidt following the Frenchman Charret through for the first few corners here. You see just how deep these braking zones at the hairpins are in these conditions. It looks like Charret's taking a fair bit of curb as well. He looks confident. And onto the dirt for the first time they go. Such a difficult braking zone there. It looks like they start braking on the tarmac, and then as they go into the dirt, of course, they're still trying to slow the bike down before they go over that first little hump. It's not really a jump as such, it's more of a hump. And that does look like a very tricky section of circuit. It's Charret from Schmidt from Hurlbacher, and then this man, Nicolas Cousin, in 4th position. The Gaza Racing 119 bike right up there. The Honda machine following the 2 TMs and the KTM. And Charret there, again, making heavy use of the curbs, and that doesn't seem to favour him particularly, does it? Because Schmidt closed in quite a bit there. I don't think he's quite within overtaking range just yet, but Mark Rayner-Schmidt doesn't need a second opportunity or a second invite particularly often. Charret continues to lead the way. Hurlbacher there in 3rd position. The world's fastest baker, who had a very good run in the second round of the season in Spain. Schmidt in 2nd position, but he wants the lead. He had a little look to the inside at the chicane. He continues to look to the inside, and surely he's got it done before they even get to the hairpin. Yes, he has. Charret out wide as a result of that, and Hurlbacher crosses the front of the number 4 bike. Into 2nd place goes the KTM. Well, it's all switching in the top 3. Schmidt now our leader, Hurlbacher there in 2nd, and Charret rounding out the top 3. Lost 2 positions in one fell swoop. He's not going to be happy with that, but I'm sure there's plenty of time for him to mount a response. Riding on board with Cousin once again. Still there or thereabouts in 4th position. You just see the top 3 in the far distance on the onboards. Really do enjoy this dirt section. They fit plenty of flying into a short distance, and off goes Cousin. I don't know how many positions he's lost to that, at least 2 or 3 by my understanding, but at least he's still in the top 10. He can take a little bit of consolation from that. Hurlbacher still there in 2nd place. He won't want 2nd. He's been on great form, and I think only wins will do for the MTR KTM rider at this stage. He wants to try and establish a lead in the championship here. On the Isle of Sardinia, Schmidt with traffic ahead, and that's really stifled the German, and through goes Lucas Hurlbacher. Hurlbacher then into the lead, taking full advantage of the situation there. Very opportunistic riding. Down has gone Yannick Hintz. Now, we saw the 21 going slowly in the previous shot as well, so it seems as though Yannick's just having a bad day in general at the moment. There goes our top three. And it's the distinctive orange of KTM at the sharp end of the order. Nicolas Cousin again onto the dirt and again off the bike. Well, he was in 6th place, but I'm sure he's lost at least 1 or 2 positions yet again. Thankfully, he's back up and underway, but a couple of falls in the first race is going to dent your confidence somewhat, I'd suggest. Charret continuing to press on in 3rd, but this looks like it might be becoming a Schmidt versus Holbacher affair at the front end of the order. And Schmidt looks to the inside. Oh, I think I heard him even there reacting to that one. He's just about got up the inside. It's side by side between the two of them, though. Holbacher can't quite retaliate, and it is Schmidt with that huge dive that's taken the race lead once again. More traffic on the horizon. He's already cost himself once in the traffic, and oh, again. On that occasion, it definitely wasn't the back marker at fault. Schmidt just drifted wide and gave Holbacher the position. Lucas Holbacher picking through the traffic well. Of course, we've got huge grids this year, thanks in part to the rookie initiative. San Martin and Sitnianski saw them fight a lot in 2021 and a lot already in 2022. The more things change, the more they stay the same. San Martin and Sitnianski fighting for 4th position out there at the moment. But with these huge grids and this relatively small circuit here in Sardinia, there's a lot of traffic to contend with, and on this occasion, Lucas Holbacher has contended with them best, hasn't he? Final lap of the race, and it looks as though number 72 is going to lead the number 1 home. Holbacher through the final right-hand flick, and he has taken the win. Valuable point to the championship for Lucas Holbacher.
Yes, a fantastic race for me. In the end, we had really hard fights. Sometimes it was a little bit unfair, but this is when it comes to a closer racing, and I have to get used to this kind of racing. Now I was happy. I get the first place in the end, and I'm really happy with my body condition with the bike, and let's go on for tomorrow for do the same and keep on the championship some points.
Ever more ruthless and ever more competitive, Lucas Holbacher on the 72. He has 25 points, Schmidt on 22 and Charret on 20 after our first race of the weekend. Thomas Charret, our Super Bowl sitter, getting some extra plaudits for his result on Saturday. And coming into Sunday morning, the fans were in attendance in their droves to see the heroes of the S1GP paddock up close and personal. The hospitality here in Sardinia has been second to none for all parties concerned. What a fabulous facility we've been treated to. The fast race is go, and it looks like Charret may have the whole shot again. No, it's whole shot Holbacher to the front of the order. Once again, the cones go flying. I don't envy the marshals having to pick them up between races. Mark Rainer-Schmidt there in 3rd place, and Holbacher looks like he's getting extremely loose on the braking into that first hairpin. And Tom Charret's capitalised. It's Charret to the front of the order, Holbacher down to 2nd place. He had the lead for a few corners at least. Mark Rainer-Schmidt for now just an interested spectator. The top 3 onto the dirt for the first time with a chasing pack behind. Look at that. The bikes really are funneling through that dirt section, aren't they? It's so great to have massive, strong entry lists again in S1GP. The last 2 years, of course, with all sorts of global circumstances, have been a difficult time for everybody, but it seems as though we are back up to strength on a permanent basis. And Nicolas Cousin with a bit of a moment there. Did very well to keep that upright, I'd say. Of course, he hit the deck a couple of times in race 1. He won't want to be repeating that in race number 2, lest he lose points in that rookie championship scenario. And down goes Yuri Catherine. That's a big shame for Yuri. Buschberger making up some positions further back on the number 7. That's the sister MTR KTM to the one that we see here in second place. Teammate to Lucas Hallbacher, the world's fastest baker. And the 22 down again. Patrick Powell's having some issues there. No such woes for the top 3 though. Pressing on is Lucas Hallbacher there in second place. And I love how exuberant Hallbacher always is on the number 72. You can guarantee that of the 3 top runners in this championship, he's always the one that's the most camera friendly, the most exciting to watch. And this year he is a firm World Championship contender, and lots of fighting all throughout the field, as we can see. There's Elias Sammartin. He hasn't got a dance partner seemingly in this race. Hallbacher though, still close behind Thomas Charret. Is a move imminent. Heading towards the dirt. And you see there, they're all taking that outside line, getting as much speed as possible for the whoops. Hallbacher closer to Charret this time, much later on the brakes. Was it too late? Yes, it was. Lucas Hallbacher collecting up the bike. I think he's going to remain in third position. If anything, he did well there to not collect Tom Charret in the process, but oh goodness me, Lucas Hallbacher. Quite a minor incident all told, but still, he would have rather kept it on all 2 wheels, I'm sure. A gap there between the top 2. Looks as though Schmidt may have met his match in Tom Charret here in Sardinia. Certainly Charret is able to maintain the gap, if not extend the gap over the German rider. He's looking a bit cautious there through the dirt section. Charret pressing on. The Frenchman still very much at the top of his game. Would love to get a win in the Grand Prix of Sardinia. You see the TMs are ever more popular, and this man is a huge part of the reason why. Tom Charret with another win added to his huge collection in the FIM Supermoto World Championship. Could it be what nets him the Grand Prix ultimately? Let's wait and see. He's got the 25 points there. Lucas Hallbacher just the 20 after his moment. Elias Sammartin and Nicolas Cousin running out the top 5.
Very, very difficult race. I was very tired after yesterday, hot condition. So I take a good start. I pass Lucas at the second corner. And I push. And after some laps, he crashed behind me, and I take a little gap on Mark. I push until the end, and it's my first win this year. I'm very happy. I want to thank all the team.
There you go, first win of the year, surely not the last. He's 1 point clear in the Grand Prix as well. Look how close the top 3 are going into race 3. The super final then, as we saw, all to play for among the top 3 there on the front row. Charret, Schmidt and Hallbacher separated by just 2 points collectively. Sammartin, Cousin and Bonnell on row 2. Then it's Axel Marie Luce, Mikael Brian Amadeo and Roman Kivers on row 3. Milan Sitnianski down in 10th, Tim Zalai and Yannick Barchi rounding out the first 4 rows. Lights out, and we're underway for the super final. And who's going to get the whole shot this time? It's Tom Charret, the man who leads the points coming into this final race. Hallbacher there in second place. Cousin just dropping down to 6th place there on the Gaza Racing Team machine. He's in amongst the TMs. Plenty of different TM teams all throughout the order. Tom Charret leading the way. KTM of Hallbacher strong there in second place. Mark Rayner Schmidt, we get a view from him now. Hulbacher. Oh, that was a very close moment for Lucas Hulbacher. I'm sure that Mark Rayner-Schmidt was just as thankful that he kept it up right there as Lucas was himself. Certainly have hindered both riders' progress if Lucas had gone down, but that's given a huge advantage onto just the second lap for Tom Charret, of course. Final race, the super final. You also have to consider the Joker lane. Let's see when those are taken. Hulbacher and Schmidt having a bit of a duel, and Charret saying, sure, I'll check out if you really want me to. He's building a good gap again into this particularly tricky little left-hander. It looks like there's a overall lack of friction and quite a nasty negative camber on that corner. Under the Nils Bridge and back out onto the tarmac they go. Charret continuing to press on. Does look like the gap might be coming down slightly. I think maybe Hulbacher and Schmidt have enforced something of a temporary truce here to try and catch back up to Thomas Charret. Watch them disprove that theory. Cousin trying to make a move, and again proving the effectiveness of a dive up the inside at the hairpins here in Sardinia. Michael Vertimati there in 20th position on the Vertimati machine. Just inside the top 20 at the moment, and no question about our leader, Charret, continues to press on. Again, you see everyone so careful through that section. Just tiptoeing on that negative cambered corner. And Schmidt trying to go all the way around the outside. That's a wee bit ambitious, but certainly showing willing, isn't he? Again, an unlikely overtaking opportunity, I'd say, that first chicane. We'll see if it can be done, I'm sure. Charret just continues to put in measured lap after measured lap. Of course, he leads the points coming into this super final for the Grand Prix of Sardinia. Oh, Nicolas Cousin again. I think he's been down in all three races now. Cousin has had a rough weekend of it here in Sardinia. He's had fairly strong results, but he's also had a little bit of inconsistency. But good to see the young man pushing. And looks like Cousin may have some issues. Just saw Yuri Catherine going by quite a lot quicker. Bike sounds a bit flat, doesn't it? Pit lane beckons. Yes, it does. It's a big shame for Nicolas Cousin. Lap 10 of the race, and Tom Charret continues to lead the way. The number 4 bike back at the sharp end where we've seen it so often over the years. As he alluded to in that interview, first win of the season came in the fast race here. A longer wait than usual for him. Sitnianski trying to apply some pressure further back in the pack, as we saw there, the 1-2-1 bike. And oh, Lucas Hulbacher, he hasn't given up, has he? Continues to press on. Charret just trying to get around Vertimati there. Again, the traffic is certainly a factor, particularly in these longer 18-lap races, given just how short the circuit is. I'd say it's a very compelling element. And Charret has mastered the elements here. He said it was very hot yesterday, bit cooler today. And no feeling cooler than taking the win, not just in the super final, but in the Grand Prix of Sardinia. Tom Charret back in the title hunt, as if he was ever really out of it. There you see the results for the Grand Prix of Sardinia then. 6 points clear of Hulbacher ultimately. Mark Rayner-Schmidt really didn't have the pace in that third race, did he? Here's the podium. And Schmidt still happy, looking upbeat with that third position. Good performance from him as he continues to fight to retain the title. Lucas Hulbacher, second in that one. Had a couple of mistakes here or there, but he never stopped pushing. But Tom Charret, the master of Sardinia. Very windy day by the looks of it in Sardinia, isn't it? Domenico Gallus presenting the trophy to the 8-time world champion, Thomas Charret. And a mighty trophy at that. Janika Judeka, the FIM delegate, giving the red plate to Mark Rayner-Schmidt. He retains the most important thing of all, the championship lead.
Very, very happy. My last win was 1 year ago in Czech Republic, so it was a long time, and this track here was amazing. My bike was perfect on the last race. I'm very, very happy. I want to thank all the team, my family, and we come back stronger next time.
What a championship this is looking to be. 5 points between the top 3 coming out of Sardinia. Sam Martin there in 4th, Milan Sitnianski rounding out the top 5 with a strong weekend here on the Isle of Sardinia as well. I'm very much looking forward to our next event, Vaisoki Mito. Tom Charret won there last year. Can he do it again in 2022?